Did you think it would be Khalil, coming off of his suspension, but he was on this win streak, but he hadn't headlined a card, he hadn't fought in front of fans in a long time. Was Khalil even a possibility in your mind?
Side.
Não, no momento, até o momento não, né? Eu acho que ele tinha feito uma luta, falou até meu nome, né? Mas eu falei, pô, esse cara tá um pouco longe, tipo, não tava de olho nele. Mas tudo acontece, né? E a gente tem que estar preparado.
Well, no, I did not envision that. Actually, Khalil, I think he made one of the fight, his previous fight. He mentioned Alex's name, but he was far behind on the rank, so nothing that came to his mind. But you got to be prepared for everything.
Talk to me about that moment you got the phone call.
Wow. I was having one of the roughest days of my life. I was in the middle of some legal stuff, and my phone rang, and it was the UFC. And they're like, "Hey, how's your day going?" And I said, "Terrible. What's going on?" And they're like, "Well, hope this makes your day a little bit better. You're going to be fighting Alex October 5th in Salt Lake City." And my day turned around within a matter of seconds. And yeah, it was just all smiles from that moment on.
I don't know if you know this, but there's been a lot of people have been calling fans to call you the final boss for Khalil because he's had so much success against these great kickboxers like Dustin Jacoby and Gokhan Saki, and they view you as, the final guy for him to beat in the UFC. Khalil likes that because it's something the fans can attach to and it's a storyline. But I'm curious, do you like that narrative and do you embrace that role as the final boss for him?
Não, eu gosto também. Pô, é legal. Eu depois, né, eu vi esse lance, né, onde ele nocauteou o Gokhan Saki, né, e eu vi algo ali que pode ser feito, o porquê que foi, né, então a gente, junto com a equipe aí, estudando isso, né, mais uma luta com outro kickboxer que é o Justin Jacob, é uma luta também que eu não concordo com o resultado, né, mas ok, ele ganhou, é isso.
Well, I enjoyed the narrative. I saw his fight with Gohan Saki. I saw some things that you had done there and things that I studied on that fight. You won. But I saw the fight against Dustin Jacoby, and I think he did not won that fight.
What do you think fighters like Dustin, I know you thought he won, but it was a very close fight, but fighters like Gokhan Saki and Dustin, what do you think they're doing wrong against Khalil, or is it something that Khalil is taking advantage of inside the octagon?
Aqui não dá pra falar, senão ele vai ganhar o lance, né? Eu tenho coisa muito boa ali que eu posso fazer ele errar, né? Tem uns pontos assim específicos que é óbvio que eu não vou falar aqui, que são muito importantes, né? Mas uma coisa eu falo, tô muito bem preparado, né? Tô animado para essa luta.
Well, I cannot give you guys all right, but I think there's a lot of points on his game that I can make him miss. That I see a lot of mistakes and flaws there that I've been studying. I can use, but all that I can say for you guys that I'm ready to make it a great fight.
You on the regional circuit and you fighting and just starting your career. I imagine you thought about this moment. Does it live up to the way you kind of imagined it all those years?
I didn't expect it happening the way that it did, right? It's crazy how everything unfolded. I would say I'm happy that I'm in the position that I'm in right now with this title fight coming up. What I mean is, like, I'm happy that I got this call and this opportunity and I'm prepared for it and I feel it, like it doesn't feel like a lucky thing and I didn't have to scrounge and get ready. Like, I've been prepared for this. I've been saying it. I've been working for it and now it's here.
What do you expect in there?
What do I expect in there? I expect to become the champion 100%.
How do you see yourself matching up against him? I know obviously you're going in with confidence, but what kind of fight are you expecting from him?
It's really hard to say. I'm not expecting a certain type of fight. I'm going in there focused. I'm going in there determined, aware. A lot of this camp and a lot of my coaching and mentorship and stuff is really just been about me and focusing on me. I can't get lost in the lights of everything else. So I don't know what to expect, but I'm prepared for it all.
In terms of his strengths, a lot of people say like he's explosive, he's southpaw, he's quick with his hands, he has powerful ground and pound when he knocks you down. Is he any different from guys that you have already fought in the UFC?
Não, acho que é diferente, né? Cada um tem o seu estilo, mas eu gosto desse estilo, né? Eu gosto dessa agressividade. Quanto mais o oponente é agressivo, eu acho que para mim é melhor.
He's obviously different than the guys that I fought. Everybody's different, right? But I like that he's aggressive. I like that his style, that he fights, that going forward like that. So I think it's good.
How has it been with Sean in camp for this fight?
Como é que foi ter o Sean no campo para essa luta, o Strickland?
Foi muito bom, né? Pô, foi um treino muito duro, ao mesmo tempo também muito divertido, né? Estar com ele ali. É um cara de energia muito boa, né? Às vezes as pessoas falam do cara, né? Mas com a gente ali, né? Com a minha equipe, família ali, eu posso falar para todos vocês que sempre respeitou. É um cara que, pô, a gente tem que estar com ele do nosso lado.
Well, very hard training, very good training, and person with a great heart, very nice guy. I know some people say some stuff about Sean, but around us in the family, he was very good, always respectful. Great to have him with us.
Have you seen him this fight week at all?
Not yet.
Are you excited to see him for the first time?
Excited is not the word to use, but I know it's bound to happen. And when it does, I mean, it happens. I don't. Yeah, but yeah, it's not really like a feeling of excitement. It's like it's inevitable. So when it happens, however I feel inside is how I feel.
And then looking at this actual fight, you touched upon it really briefly when we spoke to you at the red carpet for the Hall of Fame, but fans kind of view Alex as like the final boss for, because you beat Gokhan Saki, you beat Dustin Jacoby, and he's like the end goal for these goalie kickboxers coming in. Do you kind of like that narrative? Is it like, or is this a fun thing for fans to kind of cue in on, or do you just kind of put that off to the side?
I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, that's definitely a fun way to look at it, especially from a fan standpoint. If they see Alex as the final boss, and I get to go and take my shot at the final boss. I think it's really cool. I think it adds excitement. It adds interest and anticipation. So yeah, I'd like to entertain it.
It feels like every time Alex fights, people are looking past the opponent he's facing on that weekend and talking about what his next move might be. There's always heavyweight or now middleweight. If he was to choose which is more likely for him, which way would he go, heavyweight or middleweight?
Eu escolheria defender defender o meu cinturão, né? Porque para o peso, para baixar de peso, né? Isso tem que ser um pouquinho mais planejado, né? Para subir também tem que ser um pouco mais planejado, né? Mas para essa categoria aqui é perfeita.
I will actually choose to defend my belt. For me to go on a lower weight class, it will take some time, needs some more preparation. For me to go to a higher weight class, it also takes some more preparation. So right now, the way that it is at light heavyweight is perfect.
And then just two more quick ones. His last few fights, people have obviously been heavily favoring Alex, but then like in the build up to this, like Chael Sonnen says you're going to whoop Alex. Kamaru Usman thinks you're going to shock the world. Israel is obviously siding with Alex, but it seems a lot more 50-50 in terms of your fellow fighters, not fans and pundits. So I guess, do you think they're just tired of seeing Alex at the top, or do you think this is generally like they see your skill set and they go, you're the guy that can beat Alex?
I mean, I think that it could be a mixture of both, but I think the guys who ride for me. The guys who they don't believe in me. They don't like me for some reason. They don't want me to succeed. I mean, there's just like, there's always a little bit of hate from somewhere. I don't expect everybody to like me. I don't expect everybody to ride for me. But the people who do, man, I love them to death. I support, I appreciate the people who believe in me, who encourage me to go in there and to do my thing and to be my best. Everybody else, like, if you don't believe in me, whatever, like, I'm here to do my job, and I believe in myself as well. So
he recently bumped into John Jones at the Noche show. Did seeing him and being around him physically maybe think like, oh, I'd rather train with this guy than fight this guy? Or did seeing him there make him think, oh, this would have been a fantastic fight if John was not retiring?
Para ser sincero, eu só pensei nos treinos ali mesmo, né? Como ele já deixou até bem claro aí para todo mundo, né? Que ele iria fazer mais uma luta, iria se aposentar, né? E eu ainda não faço parte desse peso, né? Então, estaria longe de estar fazendo essa luta com ele. mas eu com certeza eu quero aprender algo, né? Um cara com essa grande experiência, com certeza, da forma que eu sempre venho me comportando, com a mente aberta, né? Eu com certeza eu vou aproveitar algo ali, é o que eu quero fazer.
Well, I was only thinking about training because he expressed that he said that his next fight might be his last fight. So I want to go over there and learn a little bit from him. You know what I mean? I'm a guy that have an open mind, and I think it'll be great.
Last one for me. What do you make of Alex bringing in Sean Strickland at the end of this camp to kind of put the pressure on him in there? And he said he's like a good training camp to prep for you.
It's cool. Like, sweet. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, like, I saw it and I was like, cool. Like, honestly, the last interaction that I had with Sean Strickland was at the UFC PI. It was literally the day after Dan Ige stepped in that fight, like 3 hours, 4 hours notice or something like that. And I was going into the PI. I saw Dan Ige. I walked right up to him, gave him his props for just having balls of steel for, just going in there like on such short notice. And out of the blue, Sean Strickland come up to me. He approached me and he just said, like, Khalil, I apologize. I'm a dumbass. I actually kind of like you. I think you're liberal, but overall, I like you or I respect you. Something along those lines. So what I took it as is like almost like squashing whatever beef. You know what I mean? Or just like saying like, look, dude, I am who I am. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, but I'm coming here to personally shake your hand, tell you, I think you're a liberal, but, to a certain level, I respect you. You know what I mean? It was like that. So I took it as like, okay, you're coming here to kind of make the peace. And I left it at that. So now anything moving forward, like anything that's said or whatever, I got that stored in my memory bank. So I know that there's really no issue. It's really just talk, and I won't concern myself with it,
I'm just curious, after this fight was announced, a lot of people thought that Khalil did not deserve to fight you. I'm just curious if you agree with that. Do you think he's done enough to fight you, or do you think that the fans were correct that he doesn't deserve to fight you?
Eu acho que ele merece. Foi da mesma forma que aconteceu comigo. A gente vê, né, às vezes, pessoa pulando ali o ranking, né? Foi o que aconteceu comigo também, né? E hoje eu sou campeão. Então, eu provei que, não sou uma enganação. Eu, fui ali, me colocaram à frente de muitas pessoas, eu, bati em quem eu tinha que bater e, fui campeão, né? Então, acho que estão fazendo a mesma coisa com ele. Vai ser uma luta muito boa, né? E eu acho que tá tudo certo.
No, he does deserve, you know what I mean? Same happened with me, you know what I mean? Got kind of jumped on the rankings, but it's due to the work that he been put on. I put the work like that too, keep beating some guys, and then the opportunity presents.
This is a sport about momentum, right? Like guys get momentum and they start pulling off great things, great victories quickly in a row. But do you think for Alex, right, he's basically been untouchable. He's knocking out all these people in spectacular fashion. Do you think there could be a point where momentum parlays itself into overconfidence and perhaps he comes in, he's like, oh, I'm fighting a kickboxer. I'm amazing at kickboxing. I can just knock this guy out. And do you think there's a chance that maybe he could come into fights overconfident and that's something you could exploit?
I'd like to believe that he's not going to come in overconfident. That's what I'd like to believe. I'd like to believe that he's coming in his very best. I know that momentum can be a great thing. I know that momentum can allow us to have a certain type of confidence, which can be good. But I think the both of us on each side know what we're up against.